It does work. Right, I started doing a different skin. What is fuel tank? Should we go and see what that is? I need to deorbit this piece of junk. Is this the one that works? Because I did one of these which didn't work. There's no fuel in it. Yeah, this one's the one that works. Hi, Red Tracks. You okay? I'm just getting a contract for science data from the Minmus, and I need to find out. Kerbal made thumbnails are always the best. Oh yeah, I changed the thumbnail. It's not the best. Not. I could do a better thumbnail. Hang on, did we do that? Yeah, we did. There you go. There's the Kerbals. I want to see what Kerbals. We've just got one Kerbal on their own. On Minmus. Could rescue them, couldn't we? One Kerbal on her own. Yeah, some of the things we just litter in Minmus with all sorts of stuff. There's a couple of cranes out there, and we've got a crane in orbit, I believe, that we got to try and bring back. Like, what are the contracts? We got this. Obtain a component. Yeah, there might be a tourist contract to Minmus. But let's go and get this component from orbit to try and get some cash. Yeah, we could do a thing to Minmus. Maybe I'll add it to the list. I did think of things to add to this earlier, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, I was working on a skin for this mod as well. Earlier. Fleas. You got fleas. There's a lot of fleas. Fleas. Yeah, I use the solids. I use the solids to reduce the cost of launches. But I think we need a larger launch stage, like really, and something that can bring the whole thing back. I've just noticed there's a mistake in the script up here. Yeah, one of the other viewers asked whether kilometers per hour could be added to the Kerbal chat script. I tried to add it earlier, but I just noticed it's saying 0 kilometers per hour, so obviously it doesn't work. Because I can see the what's printed up here, I've got as console output on the other monitor, and yeah, there's some issues there. I'm waiting for the apoapsis to get around about 81, 82. There we go. Right, because if we type in status, it should show us speed. I tried to add kilometers per hour to it, but it didn't work. It says it there. It says it there, 7,012 kilometers, but I noticed in one of the other prompts it said 0. It says 738. Can you guess what it does? Actually orbital now. We're not actually orbital. We don't get orbital until the periapsis comes over. The periapsis down here has to go over 70,000, and that's when we're in orbit. We're just suborbital at the moment. It means it's going to come back. It's only once periapsis is over 70,000 that we're in orbit. Okay, you know, sorry, it sounds a bit, sorry. I'm talking about my suborbital kitten launcher. Oh, right, you're doing something, okay? Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize the context. It's okay. Okay. Okay, when we get to apoapsis, I'm going to fire the engines again and try and get us into orbit. It's okay. There we go. Now we're in orbit. Okay, let's find this junk we got to deorbit. Where is it? It's by there. Component F81WH. Set as target. Right. So let's change our inclination. 0.8 degrees off. We've got to deorbit that Minmus crane. Cat on desk. Cat on desk. Do you want to get down? There's a cat on my desk. Okay, she's now no longer on desk. No, Kitty, leave. She's down. She's eating some biscuits. There's some biscuits on the floor of my room. Have you seen my cat? Have you seen my cat? There's my kitty. There's my kitty. Yeah, she's got some biscuits now. Hi, Happy. Hi, long time no see. I've been busy with uni work up until last week. What year of uni are you in? Are you in the first or second year? I might have asked before. Sorry if I don't remember. Because I'm still waiting for my application. Because I've applied for university this year, going back. Go in there. Going back into education. I'm still waiting on some documents I got to send there. Okay, this is a bigger component. A third year of my course, but I've been at uni longer. I've had some personal issues that slow me down. Yeah, that's yeah, personal issues definitely slow down your education, don't they? I mean, I'm going back to university. I'm applying for university this year, and yeah, something I should have done 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even. Hello, Rom Hewley. Right, I just got a contract to get a component because this is a career game. I just like to top up our money before. Could be better, I guess. Right, is that straight on? Are we gonna get this straight on? And I'll read chat now. Let me just make sure that we're all going to get this dead on, or as close as we can get it. That's okay. Can't play KSP because I'm on vacation, but at least I can watch someone play it. KSP will be there when you come back. Orbital Kitten Launcher Mark 7. Design has been completed. Yeah, Red's playing either Kitten Space Program or Kerbal with kittens. Right, Red's launching. Meanwhile, there's a cat that's on the buffet under my desk, so I'm sitting awkwardly on my chair. 3, 2. Right, we need to bring this back from where we got 89 by 79. That's good enough to bring it over. Kerbal just with a cat in it with mods. Okay. Lift off. Godspeed, kitten. I rage quit my career save not long after having enough fuel on a manned moho mission. Yeah. See, I'm scared to go outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. You know all that, don't you? Right, anyway, let's deorbit this thing. See, I do the deorbit burn around about here. $15, $20, $30. 2 kilometers per second. Oh, let's see if status is still working because I added kilometers to status. And it says, because status appears up there, and it still works, right? It still works. Now it says Mach 0. Of course it says Mach 0 because we're in orbit. Didn't the filter get that word? The filter didn't filter your word, Red. That's unusual. I thought you had filters set up to stop swear words. Oh, you went a bit too far. That was you over-ambitious launch, huh? Yeah, but really, YouTube should have picked that up and then said this is saying something it shouldn't be saying. I mean, I know it's worked before and I haven't changed anything. Anyway, it's okay. No harm done. Yeah, I think we're going to slow down a bit faster than what I'm expecting with this thing attached to it. Yeah, we're slowing down faster than I expect. You can see this coming back here, so I'm not going to start the engines in order to control where we end up. Got a feeling we're going to be short. Yeah, I feel I'm going to be short. Yeah, you know, TWR being measured in seconds always has been very interesting to me. It's an example of where dimensional analysis can give you odd units in the real world. Yeah, it doesn't seem intuitive at first, does it? And not just being silly with units. Yeah, we're not going to be able to pick this up and get 100% from recovered parts because landing in the mountain is too awkward to pick up from the mountain. Can we get it away from the mountain? Probably not. Just trying to get it away from the mountain. I don't want it to get damaged. Accidentally had my boosters crash into my rocket. Oh yeah, well, during staging? ISP, not TWR. I'm dumb. Thrust to weight ratio. Thrust to weight ratio is a ratio. So yeah, you mean ISP? Yes. Impulse force equals time. Dumb. Don't worry. It's okay. TWR's unitless. It's 1 versus 1. It's a there. TWR. ISP. There you go. ISP so many seconds. TWR 0.62. I'm worried this is going to break the component we've got to bring back. Oh, well done, Red. Learning something. I'm worried about it breaking this component we've got to bring back. Oh no! Oh, it's gone. Broke it. We broke it. So that was terrible. That was terrible. We're now going. We've just lost a bunch of money now. You accidentally updated your BIOS last night. See, I'm using an old BIOS on my machine because I'm scared of bricking it. You know, I'm really scared of that. I know I can get a performance boost if I update the BIOS. Jeb will be launching with the kitty. My Jeb's dead. Let's bring the launch stage back and then we'll do something else. Yeah, I thought I was updating the firmware patch that Linux applies on startup. Turns out it was actually flashing the ROM. It worked though, because you're still talking. Because I mean, yeah, if you get a power outage or something when during a BIOS update, you can. But haven't more expensive motherboards got multiple BIOSes now? They'll have a backup BIOS. It's like there's a lot of features on modern UEFI BIOSes that are a bit more resilient than they used to be. Now you have less coil whine. Yeah, coil whine used to be really bad on components in the past. My machine's not too bad, but I can remember older machines I've had. They've had terrible coil whine. Especially graphics cards. The old 5800, my old NVIDIA GeForce 5800, which I've got in the back room somewhere. That had loads of coil whine, as well as a dodgy fan. Yeah, I put my computer specs in a post on YouTube on one of the community posts a few days ago. Going to go into deep space, like was that your intention, Red? Maybe. It's the thing with every launch you do, Red, you're learning a bit more, isn't it? And it's just sort of gaining a little bit of knowledge. Oh, I can tweak this on the next one, I can tweak that, and yeah. I mean, that's one of the beauties of Kerbal. You know, you always end up with a working vehicle as long as you keep at it and keep tweaking and learning making mistakes. you eventually end up with a working rocket. And you see progress as well. Like in other games, you can like spend hours and years like trying to defeat a boss or something. But in Kerbal, you see more progress. Like you made it into a higher orbit, or you make it to the moon, or you make it to Minmus. I don't think we've not got enough fuel to change the C of G enough. Yeah, I transfer fuel between the tanks in order to control C of G. Oh, so we haven't got enough turn-in ability. We're not going to be able to get to the runway, so let's drop this by here. Loving the post-one lifting body physics like they've been in the game for a decade, but it's neat. Whoop whoop pull up. Yes, the whoop whoop pull up comes from this, the notes mod, and that's Gary Blue made that. He's one of my viewers who comes in occasionally. He made it, so. There we go. Right, let's trundle over there and pick it up. Let's go back to the Space Center and try and get to the runway. Boop. Oh, Scar 32. Hello. I did click that. I thought I clicked it. Sorry. Space Center. Esperance. Hello. Hello, Esperance. Hi. The Kerbals should actually reply and say hello as well, but I think it's because we don't have a vehicle on screen at the moment and they didn't reply. Yeah, because this is a Korea game, I want to get the return stages back. I'm new and I'm subscribed. Oh, thank you, Hesperance. I want to try and get that launch stage we just deorbited back to the runway, so we'll use a thing now. We'll use a little gantry that I've got. Get some engineers in there in case we break it. Let's choose a random engineer, Debra, and Jedski. Oh, they mentioned you. Yeah, the Kerbals will mention you. Yeah, the Kerbals will mention people. I mean, can you read it? Because I'm worried the text is a bit too small. I've been messing with it, trying to make it clear to read. But I think it's easier to read if you're on full screen. But then you don't have chat at the side of the screen or something. Oh, Jason Palomino, make a space shuttle. We've got things space planes we can vertically launch and bring back. We can do that after. The shores, yeah, the shores, because the launch is on the shores, isn't it? This biome is called the shores. Okay, F5. Got it. Okay, we're going to make this one at the back a little bit longer so that it moves the fins off the ground. Okay, right, make sure those aren't going to go. Turn off the engine. Shut down engine. Turn off the torque so it's not going to mess around when we're driving around. Turn off the torque. Control from here. F5. So because it's a Korea game, we get money from returning stuff to the runway, and we get 100% from returned parts if we can return it to the runway. Now, if we land out there in the mountains, I can't be bothered to gather. But we do have vehicles. I got aircraft, we got boats, and we even tried to make a flying boat, but that that was a bit over ambitious. To bring stages back to KSC. Flying boat is yeah, our one would take your image of a crazy flying boat and 2-3 times it. Our flying boat is absolutely crazy. We struggle to, but it doesn't take off from the water. It can't take off from the water. It takes off from the land and lands in the water. Honestly, the thing is absolutely crazy. Because it was designed to pick up down rocket stages from the water. Yeah, if you go to parts, you see it's 100% value for recovered parts. Which it would only be like 98% value if we recovered it from out there. These are all the recovery machines. We've got boats, we've got these aircraft. So I think 3 was the aircraft that worked. No, this is one that didn't work. It was number 2 is the boat that worked. That's number 2 is the boat. This is the boat that works. This one's the one that's had the most use. We got like 3 or 4 different boat designs before this. We got one that's like a U-shaped and one a monohull boats. But the flying boat that we was working on. Okay. We just went absolutely crazy trying to get this thing to work. This is one that didn't work. We just got crazier and crazier. Yeah, we've done rescue missions. I've done rescue missions to the moon. We need the money, we need the cash, because it's a Korean game, we need the cash. We might have a tourist contract to the moon or something. Because I've got cranes on Minmus, I got an orbital crane on Minmus that can land. What contracts can we take? Alright, 2 tourists want to go to Minmus. There's 2 tourists that want to go to Minmus. We could do that. Science data for space around Minmus. Plant a flag on the moon. Starry's a nice name. There you go. Recover Hulk from orbit of the moon. We could do that. Oh, this tourist wants to go around the moon. He don't want to land. So I'm just thinking, we got a tug. We've got a tug. We can go out to the moon and recover that Kerbal. And this tourist just wants to orbit the moon, so we could take them with us because there's 1 seat on the tug. So we can do 2. Right. There's a VIP. We can take them out to the moon and give them an orbit around the moon. And this tug, we can rescue this Kerbal from. What's the moon? Where is it? Save copy. Low moon orbit. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, listen to music, Red. See you later. So Apollo 8, basically. I'll show you what we'll do our own version because you mentioned shuttle earlier. So we got one of our space planes. We could take the Kerbal up with the space plane. Okay, let's make sure the tourist is aboard. Valentina and Bob, we'll stick an engineer aboard in case things go wrong. Edville can go and... Where's the tourist? The tourist is there. We can get rid of the bits of cargo. No, we already done that. Okay. The tourist is aboard, right? Tourist is aboard. Yeah, I got rid of the mod. My regulars will see. I was messing with a mod to try and get screenshots shown during the loading screen, but it just slowed down loading. I couldn't get it to work as well as I'd hoped, so I got rid of the mod. I did that. T, throttle up, F5. Make sure the tourist aboard. I don't bother with countdowns. If I had noticed, I would have waited for you, Jace. Sorry. Wasn't expecting that it's going to launch because it looks so heavy. It is a bit heavy, it is a bit slow and clunky, this one. Plus I need to modify it somehow, and because I'd like it to have more fuel when it gets into orbit, because I can deorbit this stage, but it doesn't deorbit as well as the smaller stages. Plus this launch stage is too big to be picked up by the boats and the aircraft I've got and the little recovery gantry. Oh, see, I'm not paying attention. The apoapsis has gone way too high. I've just done like a red Trex now. The red was in here earlier. See, I've just messed up the launch. But no, we'll try and deal with it. Try and deal with it. Because I wanted it to stop when we got to 81, and now we've got over 100. I messed up the launch. Okay, all right, we'll deal with it. KSP physics are crazy, yeah. I should have been paying attention. This is harder to launch this stage than the other ones. I should have been paying more attention. you don't really burn up. It depends what speed you've come in. It depends what speed. Remember, this Kerbin's atmosphere is smaller than Earth's, so it depends what speed you come back. Like if you've got like a re-entry from the moon and you come in at those sort of speeds straight from the moon, you come in much faster. But I tend to do circularize and then do re-entries from very low Kerbin orbit, which means you're coming in at a much slower speed. Yeah, it definitely makes re-entry easier, and you don't need what's it called, heat shields. I'll do. At least we're in orbit now, but the 101 is a bit high for my comfort. Yeah, I could have told Red earlier before he left. He's saying the first time I built this space plane, I forgot to put the solar panels on it, and we ran out of power in orbit, and I had to come up here and rescue one. That was the very first prototype for this. It's like no matter how many how many hours you've got recorded in Kerbal, you can always make mistakes. Because I'm almost at 1,800 hours, so. Right, let's get this to the space station. Then we'll get one of the tugs to the space station, transfer the tourists across. Now there's a claw at the space station. We can grab the claw with the tug. Then we take the tug out to the moon. That's what we got. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how many hours I got now. I got 1,784 hours. Right, there's our space station. No, that's not there. Our space station. That's the space station we want to go to. Set as target. How much have you done in game, Jace? How much have you achieved yet? Because I mean, people often come in here and ask for things like how to do orbital maneuvers and orbital rendezvous. I mean, it's perfectly valid to people might want to discover these things for themselves. I know I would, just in case you needed any help. But it's only if it's up to you. So I may mention this occasionally on stream, just in case there's anyone lurking, just how to do things like inclination changes. First satellite. So you've got stuff into orbit. It gets easier, As your experience builds, it does get easier. And that's one of the cool things about Kerbal. Almost every launch you do, you're gaining experience. Okay, I'm just concentrating on doing this. You only go 0.8 meters per second burned in order to get the rendezvous. That's really quite good, isn't it? Right, 0.3 kilometers away when on the next orbit, which is really, really good. So I can orbit here, set our attitude relative to target, and retrograde relative to target. Okay, this figure down here is our the difference in speeds. If we're going the same speeds, we're going to be more or less the same orbit. So we need to get this down to 0 when our target becomes perpendicular. Hello, Wen. You okay this evening? Well, it's not evening where you are. You're earlier in the day. You're at like afternoon. Yeah, we've got a contract to get a Kerbal from the moon, rescue a Kerbal and a tourist at the same time. So what we're going to do, we've got the tourists on board here. We're going to take them to the station. There's a claw on the station. We're going to get a tug and then pick up the claw and the tourist with the tug and take them out to the moon and see if we can get this Kerbal. I'm just queuing up something else to listen to on the other monitor because I'm listening to podcasts as well. Yeah, we're using this just to bring a tourist up, just to bring the tourist up. One of the problems this shuttle, we could call it a shuttle. I've been calling it a space plane. We can call it whatever we like. I mean, what its name is just 116R2P20. Yeah, the problem I was going to say, yeah, the problem with this is we don't have a lot of monoprop on board because it's only really meant to be taking stuff up to orbit and back. Heavenly Carrier. Heavenly Carrier. That's a really ambitious name. Heavenly Carrier. Okay. Though it forgets its name if we dock to something. God's is that the translation of Shenzo? Shandong, Heavenly Godfather. That's really interesting. I lost a wing during re-entry on the Sussex. Safely landed on Antarctica. That's a good result. Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Crash landing. If we had any Kerbals on board, as long as they survived, and if we had anything on board, as long as they survived, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, that quote is any landing you can walk away from is a good one, but if you can use the plane again, then it's an excellent landing. It wasn't reusable. It's okay. It was sandbox, so you could recover it. Hut point. Who's that? Oh, it's one of the Kerbals, is it? Oh, it's the tourist. I was just looking at the console output for the Kerbal chat, and someone called Hudpoint was talking. It's the Kerbal. There we go. Right, we've got to get tug now. We've got to get tug. There's a tug. We got 2 Kerbals died. That's always bad when Kerbals die. It makes you feel bad when Kerbals die, doesn't it? It's like my Jeb has been dead, so on space shuttle. Right, we've got 3 tugs. We got my tugs are named after engineers. The tugs are now named after engineers. We've got Brunel, Isambard Kingdom Brunel. We got got to find another one. We have Thomas Telford and Gustav Eiffel, which is around here somewhere. There's Gustav Eiffel. I was using Eiffel earlier, so we'll switch to Eiffel. Fly high, Bob and Jed. Jeb. Okay, 6.3 meters per second burn to do. .2. So our next orbit would be 0.2 away. So we'll warp to there. Oh, you don't know how to dock, you're a newbie. Have you got vehicles in orbit you can try and dock? Do you want to learn how to dock? Do you want me to explain it, or do you want to try and explore it and try it yourself? Because sometimes people want me to come in here and would like me to explain things. No, I think the thing most people talk about is aircraft and getting aircraft to work. But if you want me to give you any help, just say. But I won't force it. I won't, because I know personally I like to. Well, you had training. You looked at. Okay, it's okay. Because I know my method is usually trial and error. I like to try and learn things myself. So it can be annoying if you go onto a stream and then someone starts giving you tips and telling you how to do things. I know I find that annoying. Yeah, I keep forgetting that they added. Oh, thank you for the sub. Yeah, I keep forgetting they added an information thing because when I was playing Kerbal, this wasn't here at first, and I keep forgetting that that's there. Yeah, because in the amount of time I've been playing Kerbal, that's actually quite a recent addition before they stopped developing it. Yeah, spoilers and backseat gamers are really annoying. And then, but it works the other way around. I mean, you may be watching a stream and don't want people to tell you spoilers. Yeah, I just make stuff not fun. Well, you are in a sandbox game, and it's perfect. I mean, Kerbal was originally a sandbox only game. That's what it was originally envisaged as, just a orbital sandbox. You know, even career and science modes are things which have been tagged on. Yeah, you usually pre-build things and add stuff to make it work better. I mean, that's what Kerbal is about. You know, it's tweaking your designs and trying to learn from your mistakes and then making something better. You know, go further, go faster, whatever. That is the ethos of Kerbal. Doesn't get into orbit, add a booster, adds a more powerful engine or something. Okay, F5. Right, let's stick some fuel in there. When I used my pre-built shuttle, I had no fins and 2 extra wings, so I removed the 2 wings and added space find. Fin, space fin, yeah. Right, let's get this tourist. Fins are good, yeah, moves the centre of pressure further back. Right, let's transfer this tourist. This tourist is going alone. HUD point, wasn't it? HUD point. Okay, got the claw on the front. We need the claw as well. Yeah, autocorrect gets us all the time, doesn't it? Gets people all the time. Right, F5. Right, we've got full fuel on here. We've got plenty of monoprop. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable on my chair a second because there's a cat under my desk, so I can't sit on my chair very comfortably. Right, what I'm going to try and do is pick up this claw. The claw is on a docking port. Yeah, profile picture is my cat. Hang on. There's my kitty. There's my kitty. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of pictures of cat pictures in the. Yeah, she's currently sitting on a buffet under my desk, and so I can't sit on my chair comfortably. Right, one more picture, and then we'll go. Oh, I didn't undock. See, this is a bug with Kerbal. Sometimes things don't undock. This is one of the Kerbal bugs. Right, what we've got to do is aim camera, right, and then we've got the option of make primary docking mode node. Right, we'll save that there, do another F5, and now it should work. Undock. Re-entry. Good luck. Hopefully get down in one piece. Dock in. Oh, you're trying to dock it. Dock, are you? Sorry. Got it. Right, stop the RCS so that we save fuel. F5. Right, and now we've got a plan to go to the moon. What was your favourite space mission? What was my favourite space mission? I don't know, because this save is 10 years old. IRL. Oh, IRL. Don't really have a favourite space mission. I don't really. I mean, I like space and I follow space, but I think I prefer the technical aspect more than the missions. Like I don't follow individual astronauts or anything. I'm just more interested in the technical aspects. So there's not really a favourite space mission. I can think about it, but maybe I'll think of something later. Gemini. Yeah, Gemini was really good set of missions because it really advanced space. It wasn't just proving whether you could get into space. Gemini was good at proving you could actually do things in space. You know. Right, let's go to the moon. Where's this Kerbal we got to rescue? The Kerbal is going the normal way around the moon, so that means it's going to be easy to pick them up. Because if they were going in the opposite direction, we would have had to do a different sort of moon transfer to try and pick them up. Right, the rule of thumb is when the moon comes over the horizon, you got to do a pro-grade burn. We got full fuel. Right, as soon as the moon comes over, we can go pro-grade. I believe that's the rule of thumb. We won't bother putting I usually do a transfer node, a patch connects, whatever it's called, maneuver node. I can't do a spaceport at the moment because we've got a Kerbal to rescue and we've got who's not owned by us at the moment, and we've only got a tourist on board, so we can't do an EVA with a tourist. See, tourists may not disembark, so we can't do that at the moment. Got it. Okay. F5. F5 is to quick save. This tourist is going on their own. Hudpont. See, the tourist name is Hudpont, and pont in Welsh, in my language, is, or which I don't speak, by the way, is bridge. If anyone's interested, pont. Kerbals have the weirdest names. Yeah, they've got a system to generate random names, but there is a list of actual names based on real people or real things, and they do come up occasionally. But it's only like a rare occurrence, like an Easter egg thing. There are actual names in there, but they only come up occasionally. I'm the only one chatting. Yeah, Wen was here earlier, and his last chat was damn. I was going to answer him because he was talking about translations of Asian cities earlier. I was going to chat about that, but he's not chatting at the moment. Other people have got other things to do. I mean, there's a lot of lurkers as well. There's a number of lurkers, like 20 or 30 lurkers per stream. I know. I watch streamers on Twitch, and I tend to lurk. It's perfectly okay to lurk and not chat. There's 2 people here. You've got 2 streamers at the moment. Yeah, but the total views go up, keep going up for a few days after I've done the stream. I mean, that could be just people coming in and out as the stream's going on, and then YouTube servers just catching up with the amounts. That's entirely possible as well. 3 now. Yeah, I don't have the figures in front of me because it'll what's the word? Influence what I'm talking about. Might influence what I'm saying. Might put pressure on me, so I don't bother putting the figures up. Taco Gan. Yep, what are we doing? Well, what we're doing at the moment, hang on, let's mute the thing on the other monitor. Right, we've got 1 tourist on board who wants to go around the moon, and we're rescuing a Kerbal from the moon. So it's 2 contracts in 1. We've got a tug, we've got a space tug that we've attached a claw to the front. So we're hoping to rescue a Kerbal and take this tourist at the same time. And then once we get them back to Kerbin, we will bring them back with 2 different flights. We've got a recovery vehicle which can bring the rescued Kerbal back, and we've got a space plane docked at one of the stations which can bring the tourist back. So that's the aim today. And this is a career save, so money is an aspect, and hopefully we're going to bring all the Kerbals back in one piece. Okay. Kerbin has rings. Yeah, it looks like it because we've got so much junk in orbit. We've got to deorbit some of that. And I've got all sorts of failed projects which are still in orbit. That's why I keep them turned on, so I can remember they're still there. We've got 3 stations, or there's a 4th station is in geostationary orbit. Yeah, I mean, this save is over 10 years old. I was looking the other day, there's videos from 11 years old with the very same save and the very same Kerbals on this channel. So it's been around for a while. I mean, we're 1,800 hours in now. How old are you? How old? Why do you want to know how old I am? Because. Well, it's a question I don't have to answer, though, isn't it? Yeah, no, I've got saves, I've got videos on this channel which are 11 years old. Those videos are 11 years old of this very save. As in, I've been playing Kerbal for about 12 years or more. That's what I meant. There's videos on this channel from 11 years ago of this very Kerbal save with some of the same Kerbals you can see in it today. Got to make sure the periapsis doesn't get too low so that we don't accidentally crash into the surface. A bit around the moon. Right, the flag there is the flag of Glamorgan, if anyone's interested. Okay, we got them. We got the rescued Kerbal, and there's meant to be a tourist on board. There's a tourist on board, but their picture isn't showing. So we'll switch to another vehicle, then switch back. Hey, Real Rocky. Hi. Hey, wait a minute. What? Jason saved his Kerbals? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Right. So we got one Kerbal. I'm going to switch away from this craft and switch back. How did you start this 2 hours ago? I made it so my notifications would alarm me of you. Oh, I don't know because I set up the streams in OBS and it doesn't give me an option to send out notifications. However, when I put a Kerbal video up the other week, I turned off notifications and I had no idea whether it would stop the live stream notifications. So that may be it. That may have caused the notifications not to go out. Look, we've got two Kerbals here on this station. I was going to deorbit this, get rid of the station, take it apart, and then build a new one. But we've got two Kerbals here. What much science they got? 21 science. They're still building, making science. Transmit science. Now my notifications have alarmed me of you. Oh, now they send. Oh, maybe it's a YouTube issue. That's a lot of Kerbals on the station. Oh, also, right, there you go. We've got our two Kerbals. We've got an engineer on board we just rescued who is not our engineer yet. And we've got a tourist. So we've got to try and get these back to Kerbin. Control from here. F5. 3, 2, 1. So I made this giant space station with like 10 Kerbals. My goal is to expand it until it is giant. It sounds big enough already with 10 Kerbals. I mean, I don't know how many Kerbals. We might have 10 Kerbals that can go on to our biggest station, which is Spacehawk 1, but I don't know. 100 Kerbals, that'd be massive. It's like a whole orbital city. Yeah, an orbital city. So it's lunch for a Kraken. That's Kraken lunch. Good luck doing it. Feed the Kraken. I'm going to try and add centrifuge. Yeah, proper gravity on it. Centrifuge. See, now the Kerbal's physics should do that, shouldn't it? Because if you have a rotating mass on a space station like where the Kerbals live, in real life, you need a mass that turns in the opposite direction. And a lot of people don't seem to show that, because if you don't have a mass turning in the opposite direction, then it can create a torque on your space station like control wheels, and it can send it out of control. You have sent and descent one into orbit. Did it rotate in orbit? Did you have it rotating? Kraken time. Because maybe in Kerbal, the normal reaction wheels, the torque wheels, are probably enough to counter it. But I think in real life, it wouldn't be like that. Anything you want to talk about? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm responding to the Kerbal. I'm responding to a Kerbal now because I got Kerbal chat. Yeah, I was about to do an orbit and go to the next stage. Sorry, I was just looking up something on the other monitor when I was mentioning. I was just looking something up a second on another monitor. Don't worry, it's not, it's less important now anyway. Right, okay. Sorry, I was looking something up. I was about to do an orbit burn and go to the next stage when all of a sudden the rocket went out of control and I started wiggling. Oh, the Kraken's after you. As it turns out, I put struts in the wrong place. Then the first stage exploded. Okay, luckily the rocket wasn't in orbit and literally there was an emergency escape system. So I thought, Jeb, you'll live, right? So I put it in one of the escape pods. Turns out the escape pods lack control. Is Jeb okay? This meant I couldn't deploy a parachute. See, I got to go back and finish the mod I was working on. There's a button down here that just gets the Kerbals to all jump out at the same time. While trying to figure out what, I went into the atmosphere with Jeb in EVA. It, it might be possible if they're going slow enough for them to actually get down from high altitude in one piece, but they've got to be going slow enough. I've never tried it. I'm not going to risk getting a Kerbal out in EVA in the um, high, high atmosphere and high speed. He was on fire, literally, and the health bar was almost to the point where he would explode. He survived, did he? Did Jeb survive? Jeb said no. He went to the lowest atmosphere and stopped being on fire. I tried to deploy a parachute, but it won't work. So I found with a couple of Kerbals when I was working on my escape mod, I had to right click on a Kerbal, get them to repack their own parachute, and then deploy it again. That was something that I had to do. You had to right click on the Kerbal, get them to repack their own parachute, and then try it again while they're falling through the atmosphere. He was plummeting to the Earth at 77 meters per second, and then he hit the water. I assume that's a bad speed to hit the water. What would have exploded my rockets? Jeb was still alive. Nice. Jeb's harder than we give him credit for. The rocket had no remains. Jeb is entirely fine. Nice. You have one more story. Stay streaming. Yeah, and stay streaming. I'm going to be streaming for another hour or so because I want to get these contracts. I want to get these two Kerbals back. The kilometers per hour speed check works. Who was it who was asking for kilometers per hour? Was it when? It came in earlier. Yeah, I asked because I added kilometers per hour to the Kerbal chat. Okay, let's because this is docked, we're going to get rid of the fuel on there so that the Kraken doesn't come along. Hi, Jackson. Okay, things are going to get hot here in a minute. We're going to bring this space plane back. Right, just to reiterate for any new viewers, we've got a Kerbal we just rescued from the moon, and we've got a tourist which we're going to bring back. We're going to bring them back in 2 different flights because the rescued Kerbal is in their own pod, and we've got the tourist to bring back first. This is a career save, so money is an issue. Right, make sure we do a quick save. Quick save. We should have enough fuel on the space plane to bring it back in one piece. And we will undock. Control from here. Move away from the station. New to KSP and cool, a rescue mission. How many hours you got in KSP? Because this save we're nearing on 1,800 hours in this save. Right, so we can close that. Close that. Control from here. Control from here. Turn RCS off so we're not 25. It's okay. It's okay. There's all sorts of experience levels are welcome. I mean, although I've got lots of hours in the game, doesn't mean I've done a lot. I mean, I haven't been to all planets, though I have been to other planets, and I'm not comfortable going away from Kirby's sphere of influence, to be honest. So I just prefer to mess around with our own building things and flying around Kirby and Minmus and the moon. I do have stuff outside of Kirby's sphere of influence, but it's we'll pick them up at some other point. Right, so we need to do deorbit. We need to deorbit this. I do the deorbit burn from about 81 by 82, so we'll just lower the periapsis until we get to 81, and then we'll stop. Like in real life, you wouldn't start a main engine next to a space station. You'd actually move away further than that in real life because the exhaust can affect the station. I'm having trouble with trying to orbit Kerbin, to be honest. Well, as long as your periapsis is over 70,000, you're in orbit. because the periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit, and as long as that is over 70,000, then you're in orbit. And just do prograde and retrograde burns at periapsis and apoapsis to circularize. I mean, if you want me to try and help at all, just say. But at the same time, if you want to try and learn and experiment for yourself, then that's a perfectly valid thing to do. I know personally, I would like to. Yeah, it's that easy as long as periapsis is above, because the periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit, and as long as that is over 70,000, then you are physically in orbit and you won't be deorbiting. Though in real life it's more nuanced than that. But in Kerbal Space Program, as long as you're over 70,000, as long as the periapsis is over 70,000, the apoapsis will, because if the periapsis is over 70,000, the apoapsis is going to be over 70,000 because the apoapsis is the highest point in your orbit. You know, like there's periapsis there and apoapsis. So periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit. So we're at 113 at the moment. I'm just lowering this to about 81, 82, because that's where I'll do my deorbit burn from. 80 boosters. Well, yeah, if you want to try and get into orbit, you know, add more boosters. If you're not getting there, add more boosters. It did not work. But I'm sure that every time you launched, though, you learned something else. You learned, like, you got a little bit further, or maybe you didn't go far enough, and then 113 right now. Is that apoapsis or periapsis? Because if your periapsis is over 113, then you're well in orbit. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a second burn at periapsis to bring the apoapsis down to circularize the orbit, and we'll do the deorbit burn after that. Having trouble making planes too. See, planes is all about having the center of gravity and the center of aerodynamic center in the same place at the same time, in the right place. It's like so our periapsis is hardly moving because I've got stability assist on rather than going prograde retrograde, and then you go. That's a more or less circular orbit. So we got 82 by 82. Hi, Lucas. How do you have that much fuel? Well, this doesn't launch on its own. Instead, this is launched by a launch stage. We've got a whole rocket that attaches to the bottom of this and launches this. So when we get this into orbit, I've got 100% fuel on it. So this doesn't use any of its fuel to get into orbit. So that's how this has a lot of fuel on it at the moment. And the launch stages can come back in my game. We do bring our launch stages back, but with varying levels of success. So we're in an almost circular orbit, 82.5 by 82.07, and we'll do the deorbit burn. That's good enough to do the deorbit burn. Right. I do the deorbit burn. You got the crater here, so halfway between the crater and this mountain range is where I do the deorbit burn. Remember, that's another thing about Kerbal. There are no rules. As long as you're sticking to physics, you can do whatever you want. If you want to launch with 80 boosters, then that's perfectly fine. If that's what you want to do, I mean, that's the beauty of Kerbal. It's a sandbox game. Even though I'm playing career mode, it's a sandbox game where you can do whatever you want. If you want to make a plane that's a triplane, or if you want to, you can perfectly do that. You can do whatever you want. But it's physics. It tends to be. It's like physics is the enemy. Physics and the Kraken, if anything, or simulated physics. Okay, we'll do a quick save before we do the deorbit burn. Right, there's a quick save again. Deorbit burn. We're going to bring the re-entry till about here. That's why I've stuck a little lander over there just so we can see it. There'll be a, and we'll bring it to about there. Physics is the iceberg to the Titanic. That's a good quote. That's a good quote. Yeah, physics is the iceberg to the Titanic. There we go. That'll do. And I'll fire when we're about here, approaching the land by here. I'll fire the engines again to make sure that we're gonna get to KSC. Yeah, I bring the fuel tanks up. Can I control the center of mass by moving fuel between the tanks? We've got quite a lot of fuel on this to come back. It can come back with less fuel than that, but it gives us a lot of, in quotes, cross range ability, so we can fly back to the KSC if we need. I know it looks like it's going out of control, but it's perfectly fine. 335,000 right now. Highest I've ever been. Perhaps this is 80. Right, so the 335 is your periapsis. You're well in orbit. You must be well in orbit. Have you got any Kerbals aboard? Yeah, we're a bit heavy bringing this space plane back. We're a bit heavy. Three of them. Coming in too fast. Coming in fast. You know, it's not as stable as I'd like it, but we are heavier than usually. There we go. We are a bit heavier than we usually do the approach at. But there we go. I do enjoy flying it back. I think we're going to make a bigger one. Hi, Jace. There we go, 100% value because we've got the space plane down. Right, there's the tourist, the tourist back, so the tourist giving us their cash. Right, we've got to get the rescued Kerbal back. Okay, let's launch this and get that rescued Kerbal back. A good moon out today. Oh, you're looking at the actual moon. I mean, we got a sunny day tomorrow. But I mean, for 270 days of the year, we got no sun and cloud all the time. Because I'm in South Wales. Yeah, you're outside. Okay, let's launch this now. Explosion! Explosions unintended. I'm going to try to watch how you do this. Okay, alright. No pressure. It doesn't. I mean, I can make mistakes. I'm perfectly capable of making mistakes. I made a mistake earlier when I was launching her. It's like I tend to be flat by 56, and I'm not flat now. I'm already messing it up. So F there. So getting it to go horizontal. Remember, that's the direction we're actually going in. That's our prograde. And I'm waiting till apoapsis gets about to 81, 82. Then I'm going to cut the engines when I get the apoapsis gets about to 81, 82. Right, cut the engines, go prograde to minimise our drag. And the idea is, yeah, we all make mistakes. I mean, and then in my experience with Kerbal, you'll have whole days where it seems like you make a mistake with every launch, and there's other days where you make no mistakes. So the apoapsis is at 81 now, so we're coasting. So periapsis is still in the planet at minus 328. So we go to here, right click on your craft so you can see the speed and altitude, velocity and altitude. Right click on apoapsis, and then we'll do another burn at apoapsis in order to raise the periapsis and then get us into orbit. That's what I'm aiming for. Now, that's just my method. That's my personal rule of thumb. Some people go for lower orbits, some people go for higher orbits. There's no one way of doing it, or one way of doing your own method of getting into orbit. And like I said earlier, physics is the enemy. Oh, I forgot monopropellant. Yeah, I was forgetting something. It's like when the space plane we just landed, with the prototype of that, I didn't have, the first one I built and launched of that, I didn't have solar panels on it. And so I ran out of power in orbit, and we had to do a rescue mission to go up there with the Kerbal and engineer and stick a solar panel on it. And I'm going to hit F as well as start the engine. The F will stop us facing in prograde instead, so it'll raise the nose as we move away from the apoapsis, which helps raise the periapsis. That's just one of my personal methods. I know other people tend not to do that. So again, it's not right. There's no right or wrong. There we go. So we've got 87 by 75. It's not perfect. I mean, I aim for about 81, 82 by about 81, 82. But 87 by 75, we're in orbit. We're safe. You know, if there was Kerbals on board, they'd be fine. It took me 10 flight tests to get into orbit and release the cargo bay and return safe. You know, as your experience goes up, you learn what works and what doesn't, and what you can change on your own design to make things a bit better, or make things a bit smoother for you, or make it easier. Green on this side, green. Yeah, that's one of the very few mods I've got is the aviation lights. This is the aviation lights mod, green and red, so you can see which side is up and which side is down. Yeah, we haven't got the shuttle now. We brought the shuttle back and landed it, so instead I've got this to deorbit junk, because we've got a Kerbal is stuck in a pod and we've got to bring the pods back. So that's why I've launched this again. I know we've used this once tonight already, but we've got a pod to bring back. So where's the space station? What do you need, Jackson? Do you want to look at the design? Because I know people have seen some of my lander designs and copied my lander designs. But if you need any tips or... because it's got rocket section there. It's got loads of parachutes on it because it grapples things. It grapples things and brings them back. And we got control wheels. We got things. We got monoprop. We got fuel tank. We got a small engine on the back. Terrier. Docking ports inside. Oh, the red and the green lights mod. Yeah, aviation lights. I don't like having too many mods. I don't have as many mods as other people, but that's something that is definitely necessary. The aviation lights mod is brilliant because you can definitely tell which way is up and which way is down, and left, right. That is an absolute brilliant mod. Though I use an older version where you've got separate red and green, but there's a newer version of it where all the lights can do all colours. So I'm actually using an older version of the lights mod. Right, we need to get to the space station. Where's the space station? It's called Cafe Alpha. If anyone knows the why it's called Cafe Alpha. Cafe Alpha from, what was it? Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko, isn't it? Can't download mods, I'm on console. Oh, bad luck. I have no mods. I played modded Minecraft, so I have CurseForge, so I might load some mods for KSP. I mean, even the console players, while they can't have mods, at the same time, it is impressive getting a game like this to work on a console. What am I looking for? What are we doing? Do the inclination. We need to do the inclination change. We're 1.7 degrees off. So the inclination, the best node to choose for an inclination change is the one closest to apoapsis, which is this one. It's an ascending node, so we need to do descending. So we select anti-normal, and we'll do the burn just before the node, and that'll change our inclination. So we're doing the inclination burn. 1.1, 0.9, 0.7, 5, 4, 3. Slowing down throttle, so as we're moving away from the node, or the node is moving away from us. Yeah, the more mods you have installed, the more missions you have going as well. That increases the load times. Also, there is a memory leak in Kerbal where it actually keeps using up more and more memory the more hours you're playing. So I have seen other streamers before, like after about 3 hours, they'll save, exit Kerbal, then come back into it, and then reload it in order to keep the loading times faster. Because there's lots of things that affect loading times. Like the more stuff you have in orbit, well, your loading times are longer. I mean, I got to deorbit some of this. Some of this is just junk that we've got in orbit. We've got to deorbit some of this. I was looking at a launch stage called L105. There you go, L105. It's got no fuel on it. It's doing nothing, and I want to deorbit it, but it's massive. So I've been putting that off because it's just taking up space at the moment. Right, we need to do our orbit change, our apoapsis periapsis change, in order to cross the paths with our target. How long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for almost 3 hours tonight. I'm getting a bit hungry, so when we bring this Kerbal back, I think I'll stop streaming then. But we got maybe another hour, half an hour, 45 minutes to go. The 40 Booster Madness spaceflight has reached orbit. 40 boosters, that must be impressive. Must be impressive to launch. Yeah, I think my biggest launch is when we launched one of our space stations, our biggest space station. It's called Spacehawk 1. And I did that in one launch. And I had just 3 massive boosters on the side. I put the screenshot on the community tab, on my posts tab the other day. Yesterday might have been this morning, actually. I think it was yesterday. Right, 0.4 kilometers away, so that'll do. So we're going to set our attitude relative to target, and then retrograde, but retrograde relative to target rather than retrograde relative to the planet or the orbit. So we'll warp to here. I am your 792nd sub. Nice. Oh, thank you for subbing. Thank you for subbing, Jackson. Okay, where is our target? Our target is over there. We have a difference in speed of 49.5 meters per second. Okay, I like it to get under 30 meters per second difference once we're under 2 kilometers. But again, that's just one of my own personal rules. That's not that's not law. Right, 1 kilometer away. Let's get that under 20. We are pretty close to it. We're not going to crash into it. Well, that's happened before now as well. Because when I first launched this space station, I did a close pass and we knocked off one of the solar panels. I have to bring a Kerbal up to fix it. Hi, Real Rocky. We are pretty close. Okay. Control from here. Right, I'm just going to dock this for a second because I want to show off one of the space stations. Not this one, a different space station. So we'll just dock this so we don't lose it. Set as target. Dock it, yeah. I rarely dock this because this is just for deorbiting parts. I rarely dock it, but I always put docking ports on stuff. That's, you know what, that's actually a good tip if anyone wants to tip it, having docking ports on it. You never know when something's going to break or you need to refuel something in orbit. I mean, that's why I got a docking port on here so I can refuel stuff on orbit. But I mean, again, it's risk tolerance. You know, each player has their own different levels of risk tolerance. The story begins a long time. Oh yeah, you were going to say the story, weren't you? Another story, Rocky. Go on. A long, long time ago, on a small planet named Kerbin, when I was a new KSP player. Story time with Rocky. Yeah. Yeah, just to tell people, I'm using the translational controls, which rather than WASD, I'm using JKLI and H and N. They're the translational controls rather than rotational controls. I decided to make a space station. I put Jeb, Bob, Bill, and Valentino in it, but I realised after it was too late. I didn't have enough power. Oh, how are you going to get power on it if all your Kerbals are aboard? Okay, right, that's docked. I was going to show off one of the other space stations. So right, that's docked, so we're not going to lose it. Where is it? We're looking for Spacewalk 1. Rescue mission time. Yeah, because I ran out of power on the prototype spaceplane not so long ago. This is Spacewalk 1. It's our biggest space station. So I sat up there for about 4 months. In that time, I had made a space station. How long have these guys been here? 51 years. This has been in space for 51 years. You can't see how when individuals Kerbal's time in space, can we? Because we've got Kerbals aboard here. So how much science we got? They can do more science than that. They are researching. Oh, we've got an engineer, a pilot, and we've got 2 scientists. I'm just looking at what we got on board. I have rotated the Kerbals on this a number of times. It's got the relay on it. Anyway, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of making this because I tried to make it after a space station. I was on a science fiction program I used to watch when I was younger, and it works. It works well. Anyway, right, let's go back to Cafe Alpha. I decided I need to save them, so I rushed to build a rocket, sent it off. Going to orbit was easy, but then I had to rendezvous, because this was one of my first times entering orbit. By the way, when do you stream? I try to aim for about midnight GMT, Jackson, but not. I'm not always feeling well every night. I've got health issues, so sometimes I don't stream. I don't have any set time, but I aim for about midnight GMT. That's Greenwich Mean, or British Standard Time, because we're in summer now, so British summertime. Whatever time we are in the UK. It's like my time here at the moment is 3:34 in the morning. The space station had a weird orbit. It's an eccentric orbit. It's a weird eccentric orbit with a high inclination, is it? On edge of the seat stuff. Right. Pebble, I'm back from getting my report card. Oh, you got your report card when? We wondered where you went earlier, because the last word you said was damn. We wondered what happened. So someone mentioned earlier that you stopped talking. Right, I'm just about to. Right, they've got the Kerbal we need to rescue is in that capsule there. So we're going to release them. Now we'll undock this and try and grab them. That's what we're aiming for. Right. Do a save first. F5. It is GMT. GMT is Greenwich Mean Time, which is British winter time. But in the summer we have British summer time, so it's an hour difference to GMT. Right, the Kerbal's released. Right, so we need to undock this. Undock. Switch to that. Switch to this. Right. Make sure we're controlling from there. Control from here. How do we set target? This is another Kerbal bug. Switch to and switch back. It took forever to rendezvous, but finally I could see the station in my view. I thought it was going to be an easy Matalone's lazy docking time, but then I realised the station had no reaction wheels. And I was all okay, just use RCS. And I realised I forgot to add RCS thrusters to my rocket, so I went slamming into the rocket, destroying its only source of power during the day when I gave up. 4 p.m. 4 p.m. It depends. 4 p.m. No, midnight. My local time is midnight. Is when I stream. But the story doesn't end there. For some reason, we can't set that as a target, so we'll have to just go in manually. We'll have to go in manually. It's going to be awkward. 6 a.m. in Indonesia. BST to PST is 8 hours plus. Okay, so that's your local time. Would it be 4 p.m. your local time? Right, now this is going to be awkward because we can't set it as a target for some strange reason. Oh, there you go. It works. It works. It does work. All right. Okay. Never mind. It's going to be nice and easy. I gave I only gave up docking. I got all the Kerbals out in EVA and onto the rocket. I did a deorbit and oh, where's the parachute? In my haste to build the rocket, I forgot to add a parachute. You know what? It's missions like that make Kerbal really interesting. You know, really exciting. It shows the Kerbal can be exciting as any other game. Luckily, by now I'd entered the atmosphere. Had entered low atmosphere. Shows a Kerbal can actually be a really exciting game. You know, keeps you on the edge of your seat when something goes wrong and you're trying to do a rescue mission or. Like I was explaining, what I've explained before, like EJ, one of the other Kerbal streamers, he had a space plane, a space shuttle, on the suborbital trajectory. He had a Kerbal outside, but the Kerbal's RCS pack ran out of fuel, and he had to use other Kerbals to go and nudge this one Kerbal back to the door in the space shuttle and get them aboard before the thing re-entered. You know, that's the sort of things that's really exciting. Got them. Right. Control from here. Right. SAS on. F5 to save. Retrograde. We can bring this Kerbal back. Right, so we've got to lower the periapsis to a safe deorbiting altitude. I I recreated Dongfen 1 missile. I killed all the sparrows in China. Results are shocking. Rearming it again would start the parachute butt. Well, I'm just looking at periapsis, making sure periapsis gets to our chosen altitude, which is about 80-81. There we go. If you think about it, you can make a missile launcher with boosters. You know what? You could, couldn't you? You could do a missile launcher with boosters. Just have like a pack of them on all connected, and you could just hit space and they fire off one at a time. You know what? You could do that. You know what? We'll add that. We'll add that to the Kerbal projects. There you go. We'll add that to the projects. John's parachute didn't deploy. I thought, so I accidentally pressed cut shoot, whatever that is. Cut shoot. One of my ideas is good. Yeah, it'd be an interesting project. It'd be an interesting project to do one time. Thing is, it'll be really expensive as well because you're just firing off boosters. Because this is a career game. We are spending money every time we do one of our non-useful projects. We are spending money, but then that's something we enjoy doing. They tend to be some of the more interesting streams when we're working on some of our projects. Like, what's the name of that weapon? A Howatcher or something that fires lots of arrows at the same time? Hang on, I'll read chat now. Okay. What mod is the mission list from? Lucas, right, Lucas. I wasn't going to install this mod, but Gary Blue, who's one of the chatters, you might have seen him a few times. He comes into chat. He made this mod. It's the mod he's been working on. And he asked me to test it. That's where this has come from. He asked me to test it, and he's got sounds on here like a terrain alarm, and you got different skins. The skin there, the experimental ones, the one I was working on, he asked me whether I could do a skin for it. So that's what I was working on. And does this work is because I was working on it, just doing my own skin for it. So Gary Blue, he comes into chat every now and again, and he made it. He wanted it tested. So what it is just a text file. It's just like an in-game text editor. And we've got two tabs: skin ideas, brushed aluminium, Windows 2000 style, Windows, my photographs, cat. And yeah, you can have tabs and close tabs. What's it called? What's it called? It's called, I've forgotten what it's called now. But anyway, searching for Gary Blue, his name on Space Dock, you can find it. Right, and he came tumbling to the ground and exploded I say, because he isn't one of the original Kerbals, he just wasn't tough enough to be a daredevil. Everyone else landed, and finally I brought them home. Sweet home. Dramatic story, real Rocky. So that one Kerbal is like, it's like the little red shirt in science fiction programs, the one that always gets killed. Poor Kerbal. Cool, thanks. No problem, like Lucas. Right, let's bring this Kerbal back. We've got to bring our Kerbal back. We got what's Kerbal's name? The Kerbal's name is Starly. Starry. Right, I'm hungry now, so I'm gonna. Once this Kerbal comes back, I'll probably end the stream because we've been streaming for over 3 hours, 20 minutes. I'm a bit hungry. Multi-shot Jackson, yeah, that's we'll do a multi-shot thing with the boosters. We'll fire off multiple boosters. We'll give it a go at some point. It's on the list anyway. Okay, doing deorbit burn now. Is there a mod that lets you get more Kerbal? There might be. I believe there's a mod that does control the cost of Kerbals. Because in the recruitment center at Kerbal Space Center, there is the Kerbals get more expensive as your game progresses. And I know that Red Panda, who's another Kerbal streamer, he was working on a mod, something to do with recruitment, but I think he's got a way of making those Kerbals cheaper to hire. So it might be worth looking up one of his mods. I'm just going to have a look. There are mods on Space Dock to decrease the cost of hiring Kerbals. Yeah, hang on. Let me just. Yeah, Real Rocky says, oh, speaking of mods, I might make a camera mod that adds cameras and lets you take pictures of planets and save them in your KSP files in the folder. That game would detect how much a planet is in the photo. Oh, that's an interesting mod idea. And give you science and bunny based off it. Well, oh, Wen's got to go. See you, Wen, if you've got to go. You would also get more money from the more advanced camera you use. Okay, yeah, I was just going to show you something. Yeah, if I go to recording PSC, right, let's bring this tab. Right, there's the Red Panda, who is actually a Kerbal streamer. He mostly streams on Twitch, but he's got a YouTube channel as well. But he's got TRP Hire and Institute Hiring. That's something to do with hiring Kerbals, but I don't use it myself. Well, Linux Guru Gamer is another streamer as well. And this is something to do with hiring Kerbals. This mod changes how Kerbals are hired. It allows you to control who you're hiring, bulk hires, and select career and attributes. So if this is the only when I was asked about hiring Kerbals, this is what I thought of. This mod, I don't use it myself, but he's quite proud of it. Red Panda is quite proud of it. They're both of these two, the authors, are both Kerbal streamers. And they've got YouTube channels and they're on Twitch. Yeah, I'm active in Red Panda's Discord. And Linux is there as well. But I don't know if you want me to tell you that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, yeah, my stomach's hurting, so I may need to go and get something to eat. I've got antacids on my desk, but my stomach is hurting a bit. The sky is like an onion. It has layers. Yeah. Because, yeah, density can change as you go up in altitude. It is simulated to a certain degree in Kerbal. Yeah, I think density with altitude sort of changes with air pressure and temperature, but it does go in layers. It's like it's not perfectly linear from in real life. It's not perfectly linear from like 1 atmosphere at the altitude to 0 in space. There are layers. Oh, we're going to be in the drink. I was hoping to be at the KSC. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough puff to get us to the Space Center. Can we get to the runway? Can we get to the runway? Can we get to the runway? The closest we can get to the runway, the more money we can get back for returned parts. Come on, Starry, you can do it. That'll do. Close enough. Just wasting fuel now. Too many parachutes. Yeah, but this thing can... We're only bringing back the one pod. The idea of this is we can deorbit things much, much larger than one pod. But at the moment, we're just bringing back one pod. There's, well, it's 8 parachutes and 4 drogue chutes. But the idea of this is to bring back large stages. And we have brought back some really large stages with it. But at the moment, we only got the one pod with Starry in it. There we go. There's our new Kerbal. Okay, we'll just recover from there. Okay. Right, it's 3:56 in the morning. Well, thanks for the like. Thanks for I can see the little hearts. Yeah, the chat. I don't have YouTube chat up. I can see chat, but it's in a window on OBS. That's the way I monitor chat. But I've also got the controls for the Kerbal chat window up here. That I've got the console for that, and that shows me the chat as well. Right, there it goes. 98% value. We could have got 100 if we got it on the runway. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go get something to eat. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the likes. It's 3:34 in the morning, or 3:56 in the morning. We've been streaming for 3 hours, 29 minutes and 30 seconds. So we had a lot of chatters tonight. Would you try my mod that I was talking about? I might, Real Rocky, as long as it doesn't alter the game too much. What was the money mod. Oh, the camera. Yeah, I might try it. I might if you make it. Well, we had Lucas chatting, Real Rocky Stories. We had Wen. We had Jackson. We had someone named Jason in here. Jason Palomino. We had. I'm just scrolling up through the chats to just tell everyone, see if I get everyone's names who was chatting tonight. We had a few other chatters tonight who came in and said one thing, but I can't see their names immediately. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go. There's a cat under my desk and she might want some attention. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for